That's the biggest thing I've learned. There's no way to do womanhood. You just got to figure it out and
There's
make the
no
best
way
of
to
it
do
along the way.
womanhood.
What I want to
Womanhood.
like be known for now or talk about, it's like these hilarities and realities of womanhood. I found that this season for me, my early mid 30s, is really hard because I got to really just keep coming back to myself and my truth. Like, okay, what do I actually want? What's good for me? Because it can feel very comparative and stressful.
The world has taught us some of the most fundamentally useless ways of thinking about success that actually go against our biology when it comes to achievement and happiness, success and peace. We are taught to push through pain at any cost, to use pressure to persist, focus on the goal, and do whatever it takes to get there. This is useful if the goal is to not starve to death. But success by any means necessary comes at a remarkable cost to our future self. Our mantra around here is not a penny from pressure, only pleasure. The More Alive podcast exists to lead us into a new way of achieving and replace outdated advice that threaten the dream life that actually makes us feel more alive. I'm your host, Andrea Crowder, mom, truth teller, and lover of daydreaming, here to help create a world where we all feel more alive. Welcome to the show.
I was telling Clay this morning on the walk, I'm like, I feel like I just want to say no to everything now. I'm just in that mode of like, no. If it doesn't make me money or make me happy, no.
Oh my God, can we just start right there?
Yeah, there we go.
If it doesn't make me money and make me happy.
Yeah.
And welcome to More Alive, Angie Lee.
Oh man, that's the season of life I'm in, which I kind of was always in, but I don't know now, just in my mid 30s, I'm just like, I don't have time. I don't have time for anything else.
Super cutthroat. No, this is honestly, I want to give people something to like look forward to as you're aging, because your ability to I call it knife emoji season, where I just start cutting shit that's not good for me. Like you're out, whether it's a relationship with AI or like whatever it is. Like if it's like a piece of tech or a person, doesn't matter. If I don't feel more alive on the other side, you're out.
That's such a good way to see it. Aliveness. That's why I love the name of your show. It's almost like that's really what it is we're all looking for. It's not even joy or happiness. It's just aliveness. So yeah, I need to get better at that, because I could be someone who just spreads myself really thin because I do have a lot of energy. So I think like, well, of course I can do it all. Of course I can travel all over and go speak and do this. And then recently I've been thinking, that's not that smart. And I want kids. So I'm like, I wouldn't be able to do that. So why don't I act as if now what that lifestyle would look like of saying no more. So now I'm just practicing it.
God, it's so good when you get good at it. It's like, it's the ultimate flex.
Yeah.
I say all the time, the reason we keep getting less is because we keep saying yes to it.
Oh my God.
And I'm just like, because it's like, it's almost the thing we want. And we're like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm a Virgo, and I am finally, it took me till I was probably 39, almost 40. But I am finally in my high standards era and loving this for me.
Oh, I think Clay's a Virgo. Wait, when are you born?
September 19th.
Oh my gosh, he's September 20th.
Yeah, Virgo.
You guys are a day apart.
How funny. Yeah, you needed a Virgo.
Listen, I don't know jack shit about the fucking moons and shit, okay? I don't even know what a Virgo means. So people will be like, oh, a Virgo man. I'm like, what does that even mean?
Are you an Aries or what are you?
No, I'm a Pisces.
What?
I love how much you love astrology.
I would have literally never guessed that. That would have been the last thing I guessed. And now on the other side of it, I would have definitely guessed a fire sign, not a water sign. But on the other side of it, I see everything that you're talking about between the hustle and the soft girl era and all of that stuff. I'm like, it all has been wrapped up with a beautiful little Pisces bow. Thank you.
Really? Wait,
my daughter's
wish I knew
Pisces
more
also.
about astrology, because I have no idea. I mean, I kind of roughly know, I guess. I know my own month, but I don't know other people's. And I know there's trends and kind of what it can mean, but I don't know much more than that. I know Pisces are just artistic and artsy fartsy, I guess. I don't know. I don't know much more.
I'm not an expert, but this girl joined one of my containers forever ago, and she was a closet exceptional astrologist. And once she owned that, she literally ended up on what was the reality TV show, the dating show? It wasn't Love is Blind, but it was another one like that. I can't think of it.
Wow.
But all of a sudden she let herself out, and she blew up onto reality TV. But I learned so much by her being in my container, because she would just be like, can I chime in? Can I chime in? I have something to say to this person. And she would just memorize people's charts at a glance. And she's like, also because
your, your Mars in Virgo or like what there's so much complexity to it that
people are like, what's your second moon? I'm like, moon rising, what? I'm like, all I know is I was born March 6th. I'm a Pisces. We're really sensitive. That's about all I know. But other than that, I don't know my like moon rising and stuff. I think I looked it up once on an app and I forgot.
It's not for you.
I don't know. I'm just torn on all of here's my thing on it. I think everything is something. I think there's a sliver of truth in all of it. And when we die, we're going to be like, oh my God, that was all bullshit. That's my belief is like, we're kind of just these little creatures hanging out on this ball, trying to make sense of ourselves.
Right.
And so it feels good to have some sort of containment in a box. I do believe in it a little bit. I do believe in Enneagram a lot. That is definitely very spot on for my personality. But like human design, I'm like, I don't know. I've had my reading. I'm kind of like, eh. She was like, no, this is so you. So I don't know. Maybe I think it's all awesome and I think it's all bullshit. It's like both. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at.
My friend Tracy Litt always says, none of it's real and we're all going to die anyway.
There we go. She said it way better than me. That's kind of my thoughts. I'm like, I'm a little woo, little not. I'm kind of like, I don't know. I don't really think about it too much, but I know there's a lot of women who, hey, if it helps your life, I'm all for it. If it makes you a better person or feel better and helps you in some regard, then it's awesome. But I don't like when women then use it all the time as their thing. Like I'm a manifesting generator, so of course I would do that. It's like, dude, you're also a person outside of it who's constantly changing and evolving. Who's to say that it's like such a concrete thing? I don't know. So
I mean, like the artist in you, I feel like could understand like that it's very much like a breathing thing.
Yes.
Depending on your relationship with it. Some people do take it as like very concrete, and it can be really powerful for them, and it can also be really constricting for some people. So I like what you just said though, is like if it brings you a sense of power, then like great. We love that for you. So anyways.
I mean, I like fish. I like the ocean. I'll be a Pisces.
But now I'm like, I need to know your rising sign. So like we're gonna pin this.
Okay.
Like you gotta be
how
like,
do you find it? You'll Google it and put your birthday?
You'll send me your birthday information. I'll drop it in my app, and then you can ChatGPT your way to your little heart out if you want to.
Wait, it's so easy now. I could just ask Chat.
Well, ChatGPT doesn't do a good job at like giving you an accurate chart reading if you just give it your birth information.
I can't just say, here's my birthday. What's my rising?
No, it gets some stuff wrong. And ChatGPT always just tells you this is Bible truth. And you're just like, sure.
Oh, I believe everything Chat says. So
I know. Same. Wait, can I tell you a funny story? I'm like, what is this? We'll finally get to the point of this podcast.
Yeah, we'll get to this.
I was at the bar the other night with my girlfriend, and she was like, look, I haven't been late in so long. Tonight is like, I'm finally committing. I want to have a one night stand. Like, I just want to be well fucked. And I was like, I remember when I prayed for this. Pray with me. This was like the end of 2022, Andrea Crowder, like circa December or maybe like October or something. Anyways, doesn't matter. So we like sat there and we like said a prayer to Sky Daddy, and we're like, here are our wishes. And then I was like, and how do we know if like a guy is good in bed? And so we're like, number one, Sky Daddy's going to put that all on lock for us. And number two, let's ChatGPT us. And we're like, per se, if we're sitting, this is literally my prompt. If we're sitting at the bra and we were to be scanning said bar, and how would we know which guy would be most likely to be good in bed? And one of the red flags was if he tells you he's good in bed, he's probably not.
100%.
And this guy says to her, she's like standing there getting a drink, and she's like, and he goes, he's like, so do you want to go home with me tonight? He's like, so I can fucking rock your world. And she goes, ChatGPT said if you say you're good in bed, you're probably. She literally said that to his face, and I'm like, I've never felt more alive.
Did he love it? Was he like, oh my God?
I actually never got his response because I could only be in like the joy of the fact that she actually said it to her face. I only got like the back end story about 47 seconds later, but I will ask that follow-up question.
You should be like, ChatGPT is cock blocking you, bro. That's the future for all these guys out there. They're like, dude, now these girls are like using Chat as their therapist and thinking that I'm not a good guy now. Like, I'm sure it's ruining some things for dudes for sure.
It is. And like in the best way possible. Thank God.
I'm obsessed with it. I don't use it for what you think though. I don't use it for business really. I use it real life. Because you know what's hard for me? Real life is hard for me. Creating content, business, that's where it's easy. What's hard for me is like, how do I make this? How do I fix this? What would I do in this situation? What the heck is this growing out of my plant? I send it pictures of shit all day long. Clay loves it because he's like, thank you. Be self-sufficient. Figure it out. Because I would ask him all this shit. And he's kind of like, all right, you need to learn how to life a little bit better. And so when chat came out, he was like, I actually think you're going to like this because I'm somebody who I feel like I just need to learn these things. And I can't always just like text my mom or ask him. So it's honestly helped me a ton. Like if there's something going off in my car or in the house, I'm like, oh my gosh, what is this? What do I do? And then I just take a picture.
I don't know if you follow Natalie McNeil, but she's an AI expert. And she said she used ChatGPT to help her fix this thing in her garage that took her like a few seconds to fix. It would have cost her hundreds of dollars. And like, I'm just over here like as you know, I mean, I'm not a single woman anymore. I luckily have an amazing man who fixes all the things around the house or will call someone to do that. But for a minute, I was all on my own, literally just like, God, my roof is leaking and the landlord can't seem to figure this out. Like, help.
Yeah.
God said move out.
It helps so much. I mean, Clay does a ton, but there's times where he's like, all right, you're not a damsel in distress. You can figure this out. And then I'll do it. And he'll be like, how did you figure it out? I'm like, chat. He's like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I love it. So everyone's like, use it for, your copy for your emails. I'm like, no, use it for like how to fix shit.
Real shit.
Real life.
This shit that really truly perplegs an entrepreneur. Because you're right. This is the one thing that actually we get really well. And we're like, no, we don't need so much help here. Yeah.
It's the best. Yeah. I'm obsessed.
Oh my God. Okay. So
anyways, everyone, back to the show. Editor, you can cut all that out if you want. That was just...
No, we're not cutting any of that.
Okay, don't cut it out.
Some of it, like the first 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone, welcome Angie Lee to the More Live podcast. I think we already said that. We're going to do that more time.
Hello, y'all. I'm dumb in real life. I can figure out business stuff, but real life's hard for me, so I need chat to support me. Welcome.
We are resourced women. Okay, so I brought you on today because you have been having this beautiful conversation around, well, actually, this is how I want to start this. Smash or pass, soft girl movement.
Okay. A year ago, I would have said smash, but now I'm going to say pass.
Okay, I love this.
I'm going to say
There's so much in between. Yeah. Okay, so let's back up a little bit because you went through a season that kind of where the soft girl movement seemed very appealing, and I think everybody has a different way of describing that. I certainly have my own unique way of describing it. So first, take us back though. Kind of where were you that elicited this? Like, holy fuck, it's time for me to like shift how I'm existing as a human. Like, what was happening then?
It's so funny because when I made that post, you know when you have that feeling before you press post, you're like, I think this one's going to do good. Like you have the feeling, you're like, ooh, this one's juicy because you're saying out loud what people are thinking in their head. So I had an idea, but I didn't realize it would go this crazy. Like the carousel I did and the reel is like going viral. I mean, asked to be on all these shows talking about it. I'm like, holy shit, I knew it was a conversation I was having with some of my girlfriends in the entrepreneur space, but I didn't realize this was like a real thing. So I'm kind of excited to talk about it because it feels like it's very nuanced though. And I want to address that because I think any woman listening might be like, well, but I think of it this way. And it's like, I'm not a guru. I don't have the one answer to it. All I know is I think that there's these two extremes that were portrayed online that I'm so happy we're waking up to. And it's like the girl boss movement, which is like, I don't need a man. I'm hashtag childless by choice. And I just crush it and make money all day. It's like ultra feminism. And then there's like, no, I'm a feminine goddess wearing a beautiful sundress and I live in the middle of nowhere with my chickens. I'm a trad wife and I'm a mom and hashtag mama bear. And I love my children so much. Why would there be anything outside of them? And so it's like these very extreme narratives I was seeing online. And I kind of was
sourdough
like, well,
movement.
Sourdough. You got to make a sourdough. And so I think it kind of unfortunately got to me, which I think in 2020, 2021, it was necessary because we all had to obviously slow down and be home. And that was kind of nice for a bit. So I kind of was like, oh, maybe I'll go into my soft girl moment a bit. I'm in this place where financially I don't really have to work. So why don't I try it out? Maybe that will be the new secret to happiness. Because this girl online who has 4 supermodel children and they all seem to have matching clothes all day and her kitchen is super clean and she seems to be so happy being a trad wife. So why don't I try that?
What's a trad wife?
A trad wife is a traditional wife. So a trad wife is a woman who is a full-time wife. and a mom.
I'm
Or
not with
I
the
wouldn't say
kids.
mom.
I don't.
Yeah, it
I
doesn't have
don't know
anything to do
the
with
lingo.
kids. A tread wife, I would say, is a traditional wife who does not work at all outside of supporting the home. So yeah, I think I just kind of fell for these narratives and I was like, oh, why don't I try this out? And it was something that I feel like was fun for a little bit. But I always say, I'm 35 now. I was about 32-ish when this kind of started, 33. Being retired at 33 years old, when you are a creative woman who has a lot of passion and ideas and gifts and thoughts and your ADD and you've got a lot of fire and energy in you, is quite possibly the worst thing you could do. Because we see this all the time with people who retire. I mean, there's therapists who DM me and they're like, I see this all the time when people retire, even a little bit too young. They go into depression because they're kind of like, I don't have a sense of purpose now. What am I supposed to be doing? And so
How'd you retire for those who don't know?
What'd you say?
How'd you retire for those who don't know?
How? I mean, you mean like, what do you mean by how? Like, oh, at that age?
Financially, yeah.
I was like, what? I was like, what do you mean? Yeah, I mean, it was in a place where I built a lot of residual income in my years when I was in the online space. And then with Soul, I got to a place where I didn't, with payouts, I didn't really have to. And so it was what I thought would be the dream, to be honest with you. And I got there and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this for a little bit because I was almost convinced by this narrative that I should be burnt out when I really wasn't. It was like, are you a girl boss who's burnt out? You should slow down. And I was like, yeah, maybe, sure. Like, which was strange because I don't know why I allowed myself to buy into a narrative, being a confident woman. But regardless, I kind of bought into it and thought like, maybe this would be the new way. Maybe this is what I should try to do. I started the process of trying for kids then. So I was like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom. I'm going to maybe be a trad wife, just give up all of my passions and my creativity outside of it. That's what I'm going to do. And Clay was like, okay, this is a train that is going to crash and it's going to be really bad. And I was like, no, you don't know. You don't know.
Yeah.
So he immediately, like, we can get into the relationship aspect of this. He immediately was like, this is going to be cool for like a month or two. And then you are going to hate your life. Like, this is not okay because you're going to end up resenting yourself and me. This is like, he's like, I think I sometimes know you more than you know yourself. Yeah. He's like, this is not what you were born here to do. You will always, even when you do have kids, we do have kids, you are always going to be wanting to do things in addition to your children. And he likes that. And he's like, I think that's important. I think that's healthy. And I was like, no, I'm just going to like bake sourdough. And like, it was a few months where it was fine. And then it got to the point where it got really, really bad and really dark and really chaotic. Because with my free time, what do you think I did all day? I don't have kids yet. I don't have work. What am I doing? What the fuck am I doing all day?
What
Seriously.
did you
do? Went to a lot of yoga, read a lot of books about how I got to keep fixing myself. So then I would keep getting more messed up in my head because I'm thinking about myself all day.
Yeah.
Overly personal development-ing. I don't know, go on a lot of walks, talk to birds, hang out with my girlfriends. Like, it's fun for a few months because it's like, wow, I literally had no responsibility. But then it started to feel very chaotic. It was not fun. It was not enjoyable. Yeah, I've seen that side of it now and I've seen who I become in that. And it's not the best version of myself at all in my relationship or for myself. And so, yeah, I slowly just had to wake up. And it got to the point where it was Clay who sat me down and he was like, you can't do this anymore. I'm so sorry. I love you, but this is not your life. Like, you're 33 years old. You can't be fucking retire.
Right.
And I was like, why not? I'm having so much fun. He's like, you're depressed all day. This is not working. And so I'm laughing now, but it was a very, very painful season and really trying to figure out, well, what am I supposed to do then? And what's next? And so it took a while for me to get back this fire, but I wanted it to come back in a clean way where it felt like it was from me and not from anything of what I need to prove. And so, yeah, I just think there's a middle ground. Do I think there's some women that can live that way? Absolutely. I do think there's a subset of the population that enjoy that. And I do think there is a lot of women who genuinely like having challenge and like working because they like what they do and they enjoy some of more of that like masculine energy, I guess you could say, in business. And I just think there's this narrative going around that like, if you just manifest, it'll happen. And it's like, no, that's such bullshit. Like, that's not actually the reality for business. And so I think I fell for this idea of like, if I'm just a feminine goddess all day and just manifest, like things will happen for me. No, it led to feminine chaos. It led to depression. It didn't make me it was the worst. It was so bad. So I'm kind of now a fan of women finding that middle ground, but more so finding what's true for you. Like, I've been this way since I was 7 years old with lemonade stands. I've always been a highly ambitious, very creative, a lot of energy woman who needs a lot of things going on. I need a project to be excited about. I need growth. I need challenge in my life. I've never really been content with just doing nothing. And so it was surprising that I all of a sudden thought I would just like change as a human. And this will shift a little bit when I become a mom, but I also think that I don't know, after seeing a lot of my friends go through it and talking to a lot of moms and talking to people who know me very well, they're like, I don't think this fire in you really, it might shift, but you'll always have this part of you that will want to be expressed as well, in addition to your children. And so I'm really fighting for that now, because I'd love to be that mom. That's like my biggest goal, is to be the mom who shows their kids that I have a life outside of them that I love, because that can inspire them to do the same. And so it's just been it's been a really crazy last few years of really trying to figure out, what do I want now? Where do I fit? I made all the money really young. I had a lot of success very early. So then what do you do when you peak early? Do you keep going? Do you find a new mountain?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a crazy place to get to, but I'm happy now to be probably the best I've been in a long time, because it got really, really dark there. So I'm just a huge fan of women doing what lights them up and makes you feel alive. And I feel like you're the same, in that there are a lot of women where their work, how they make money, makes them feel alive. And so why are we taking that away from women who, it doesn't make me feel alive to make sourdough? I'm sorry, it just doesn't. And trying to pretend it does is so, it's such a, I don't even know the word, but it's such a disgrace to who I am. It's not honoring actually who I authentically am. And then there might be women who are the opposite. They're like, oh my God, I would hate to film myself on camera or create content or do that. Awesome. Like, I think you have to really double down on who you are as a woman, versus trying to be what some other girl on the internet is, And that's hard though. I mean, with social media now, you could scroll and easily think like, oh my God, she's living that life. That's what's going to make me happy. Oh, she's living that way. That's what's going to make me happy. But in reality, this. I mean, nothing is ever what it seems on the internet anyway. So anytime you see like the perfect life, it's like, she still has problems. She still has stuff she's got to go through. So that's really helped me, is just kind of I'm trying to find the middle ground now of like doing work I love and feeling alive in it. But I want to have purpose outside of work now too. I don't just want to work all the time. And I think that's probably why I'm craving motherhood, is I'm like, I want to feel more well-rounded. So I think it's been this interesting, I call it trimester zero, this like season before motherhood, where I'm kind of like, where the fuck do I fit? Like, who am I? What's happening? I'm going through my crisis now. Most people, it's like after the kids. I feel like I went through it before the kids. So it's crazy.
This for you.
I know. I love it. I know. A therapist was like, you're going through like what women go through like postpartum. It's almost like you're like preemptively like setting all of this.
Prepartum depression. So you can just knock it out.
I literally would call it that. I would be crying in her office. Like, I feel like I'm going through this like portal of like shedding all this shit and like, what do I want? And it's like I went through I feel like God is like, I'm going to have you go through it before, so then you have a smoother process on the other side. So that's what I'm hoping. But I don't know. That's a lot. It's so much to say. It's hard to put it into like a condensed cliff notes. But I do think I think both narratives just went way too far. And I do think though that a lot of women do enjoy what they do. So they want to feel that sense of accomplishment. And I just don't like that the industry made it so like feminine or masculine. It's like, dude, I don't know. I'm a little bit of, I'm both. I'm just me. I don't want to overthink these energies and which one am I in? And it's like, just fucking do things you love. Making money is fun. Don't overcomplicate it. Get to work. Just, that's it.
Yes.
I just think we all are like, it's such a privileged conversation to even be sitting and be like, oh my God, am I masculine or am I feminine right now? I'm like, do you know most people have to work like 3 jobs and have 4 kids? You think they're having those conversations? No. They're like, bitch, what are you talking about?
I hope that changes though, because I do believe that the financial aspect on the other side of it doesn't matter, because you kind of nailed it in the beginning, is like, isn't that what we all want? We all just want to feel alive. And I have this deep value. It's one of my highest values, that if I can't bring all of me into the room, I don't belong in the room. And that means like my feminine energy and my masculine energy and like my fire and my softness and all of that. And I think like all of that is me being in my feminine. If you were to say like, okay, if you were to like kind of hold that value for yourself of like, if I can't bring all of me into the room, then I don't belong in the room. Like, what is all of Angie? Like, what do you want to just be able to be held by anybody who's existing in that room with you? Like, what's all of Angie?
Yeah, I feel like it's both. I feel like I have a lot of nobody's ever asked me that question. I think that I feel like I'm this really interesting dichotomy and duality of obviously being silly. I call myself a silly goose, a comedian. That is such a huge part of who I am. I don't take life too seriously. I think this is all just a really funny joke and then it's going to end. And like, that's such a huge
love that
value
about
of
you.
mine. Yeah. I'm just not rooted. That's so sweet. I was like, yeah. But I try to, I think that's what sometimes in the personal development world, like it's so heavy. And I'm kind of like, hey guys, we're overthinking all of this. Like, let's just take a beat. Like, you don't need to like overthink all of this. But then there is a side of me that is also very fiery, and I can go deep if I need to. And so I think that blend is something I always want to bring to the room and show women. And so I guess you could call that like, yeah, I guess that's like the feminine masculine as well a little bit. It's like play meets a lot of fire and depth. Like I don't want to be in rooms anymore if they're too serious. I'm just like, not for me. Like it's not, if I can't say funny shit or be weird on stage, like I don't want to speak on that in that stage. So I find that I think that duality of both is really important for me. And I want to show that to women. I think there's a lot of women who think you can't be super silly and super successful. You can't be really fucking weird and also like, you know, be really intelligent. And I think it's actually really cool to show women you can do both and be both. And yeah, I think that's really important to show women. So yeah.
What do you feel like women crave? Or maybe just answer for this for yourself. I've been thinking about this for myself a lot, which is like, what are the pieces of me that like that I'm struggling letting be known by myself? Like, meaning for me as a Virgo, using astrology of like, before I knew what that meant, I've always been like the truth teller. And sometimes I can say things a little bit too directly. And if I don't like bubble wrap things, like people are like, when I'm just like, hey, let's do this. And they're like, didn't you mean to say like, how are you feeling today? And like for a long time, I would just describe it as like, I would start shrinking myself a little bit. Like, I don't want to be known as the bitch cause like I do have a very playful side, but I also have a very clear, direct, serious side. And
it's like what's the Enneagram? It's like the challenger. It's like a 9, right? Or something? Is that
I'm not an Enneagram girl. I don't know.
Okay. You might be.
I think it is an 8.
An 8, you're the challenger. They like want to challenge the status quo. They're very confident in it. They're not scared to say like, nope, this is the way I think it is. I like that though. I think that we need women who are like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that I've been like unwrapping this for myself of like, I want that piece of me to be known and to be loved. And do I believe that it can be loved? And like, if there was a piece of you that you're like, I've just been waiting my whole life for this to just be like widely accepted and loved. Like, what would that be as a woman?
It's really cool to actually be 35 years old sitting here right now. And I can confidently tell you that I don't feel like there's a part of me that I actually hide. That's really fucking cool that I can actually say that to you confidently. That's really weird. I'm like, I feel like the one thing I've fucked up a lot of things in life, but I feel like I'm really good at being like me. Like, I'm just like, here it all is. I lay it all out. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. So I don't know if there's a side that I'm craving for people to love. I find that like that duality I was telling you, I find that I'm hopefully pretty good at showing that because it is just who I am. And I try to really be authentically who I am offline, online. So I don't feel like there's like this, it's very congruent for me. And it's very, there's not a separation there. So yeah, that's a really good question. Cause I'm like, nothing comes to mind right away.
That's amazing.
It used to be that I think in my 20s, it used to be because I was so silly and funny that I think a lot of times people don't know that the woman who's a comedian is also very, very intelligent. Like you have to be smart to be funny. And so I used to fight for that. Like, hey, I'm also smart. Hey, like in order to write these jokes, even now if I'm scripting a reel or if I'm doing comedy that includes obviously writing, people don't realize that takes a lot of intelligence to know where is the punchline? Why is that funny? And so I think I used to fight for that. Like, hey, I'm also smart. But now I'm kind of in a season where I'm like, no, I know. I think people know I'm also smart. And if not, well, like,
wow,
okay,
you got there early.
I'm just dumb and silly.
That's incredible. I say all the time, I do believe the most powerful women on the planet aren't the women who love themselves, but the women who understand and accept themselves. And like those are and that clearly shows up in this path that you've had, because you haven't had the easiest path. I mean, you've had some significant successes, but you've had some trials and tribulations. Cancel culture kind of came for you, not kind of, for a minute. And for you, what would you say through this process of like allowing yourself and accepting yourself to be human, to be powerful, to be vulnerable, to have humility? Like, what did that take?
Yeah, it's so funny you even brought that up because I'm like, I forgot about that. I'm like, oh my God, it's been half a decade. So I'm like, thank God I forgot about that because it was really intense and rough when I went through it. I mean, I left the internet for like a year, but now it's so funny. God, this would be the one thing I would, if life was a movie and we could just pause it. I'm like, God, how much would you pay to be able to go back to moments in your past and do what you know now with the knowledge you have as your older self? You know what I mean? I'm like, oh my God, Angie, did you seriously give a shit with these people? Are you kidding? Like, come on. I should have literally just laughed and been like, okay, bye. Like, but instead I was like, no, and apologize. And I'm doing something wrong. such bullshit. And so now I'm like, man, I wish I would have had my confidence now to go back and be like, this is such a joke. Why are you all freaking out? Why are you yelling at me? Like, and so, God, I would die to have that confidence I have now. But of course, that comes with time. And it's almost like catch-22 because
and
you
friction.
you become more confident. You have people on the internet making hate videos of you. After you've seen a few, you're like, okay. And then you become more confident, actually.
Right.
Because you're like, oh, I still like myself. My family loves me. My real girlfriends in real life love me. I'm good. I actually don't care about this random girl on the internet. So you get better at it, I guess. But yeah, I think I've learned a lot about, I mean, it's interesting when you've grown up on the internet because I started sharing my life when I was 19. And so I don't know a traditional job. I don't know another way. So I think I've built that tough skin pretty quickly, or that thick skin pretty quickly. I think now where I'm at with it, and I feel like you're so good at this too, it's like, I'm not just saying it to be trendy, but I genuinely don't actually care if someone doesn't like my stuff on the internet. I think I'm almost like numb to it now, or like I'm immune to it. Like once you've created so much content and you've read like, go kill yourself or what, like you've read the worst, you're like, okay, like you kind of like don't even feel it. Like it doesn't penetrate into you. And so you're like, okay. And then you just, you keep creating, and you know that the 98% of people are good people. They get it. Right. It's helpful for them. I'm helping women. If I can make women laugh, that's my favorite thing to do. Okay. Like I feel like to choose a courageous path where you are putting yourself out there, to assume that you're not going to get some weirdos or trolls, or even just people who aren't trolls, they just really don't like it on the internet. I mean, come on. That's absolutely insane to think you're not going to get that. I mean, just think of the ratio and numbers of people. I mean, anybody who's written massive best-selling books will tell you, dude, I've gotten some nasty comments on Amazon. So nobody successful is ever going to not have some people who don't like their stuff. So I think I've really come to terms with that a lot more, but that took me a while. I mean, I feel like that was something I didn't really feel in my 20s. Now I feel in my 30s, thank God.
You mentioned you're like, if you watch enough hate videos about yourself, you become numb to it. Would you say that that was like a part of the alchemy for you, of like just like being with the ridiculousness of it, or like what helped you get through that?
Yeah, and I won't get into obviously too much of it. I'm just not a fan of cancel culture. I think it's the stupidest thing ever. I don't think it actually changes or does anything. I think people are just sad and bored and thought, let me try to cancel people and see if that changes things. And the reality is, I mean, every week there's a new celebrity who's trying to be canceled, and they're still here. They're still making records. They're still laughing to the bank. So it's kind of like, what does it even mean anymore? Yeah, I think I just kind of went through the worst, I guess you could say, on the internet. And it was very sudden. It was all of a sudden overnight. It wasn't like, oh, I put out something and so I knew it would get this. It was like, obviously a lot of people received it and it was a very sudden thing. And so I think that shock to my system, it happening that way was harder, but then it kind of made me realize like, oh, I can handle it. Like it's not a huge deal. And now on the other side, I think what people would want is that it would silence me. But now on the other side, a few years later, I feel actually the opposite. I'm like, okay, I'll go through it again. I don't care. Like I could, it almost just made me tougher and more immune to it, I guess. I don't know. I don't even think about it anymore. Honestly, it was so traumatic. I mean, I had to go to therapy for it for like 2 years. So, but now when you brought up, I'm like, oh yeah. So that's good. It's like
therapy works
out of my brain. I guess so. Yeah. I mean, my therapist was like, I remember the day I walked in there and she was like, because her job is obviously not the internet. It's very in person. And I was trying to explain to her like, and somebody left a mean comment and and they said this and this. And she was like, what? She's like, okay, so this person, all you see is their name and like a little circle with their face. And they said this and you're thinking that, like it just showed the absurdity of it. And I was like, oh my God, that's a matrix. Like that is a fucking matrix. This is actually kind of funny if you think about it from a meta level. So I kind of zoomed out and saw it from like the bird's eye perspective. And I was like, we're on this fucking app just yelling at each other. This is so stupid. So that's my honest thoughts. I might get canceled again for saying what I'm saying here on your show, but I'm kind of whatever about it now.
You know what I keep thinking though is like, I think that we forget how big the world is and that this tiny slice of our life doesn't exist in so many places in the world. And even though it feels like it can feel all consuming, or it can feel all consuming to even anticipate or fear it, we always have to remember like, and I understand why it can really trigger someone's, because like your livelihood might be built on the internet and like, and it's a real thing. Like us being able to create like stable scalability for being someone who does have an authentic voice with a message to say, and people might not like that. Like the reality is that can impact you very financially. And so number one, take that into consideration, like prepare your business for any sort of weather, because like, I am not one of those like spiritual people where I'm saying like, if I'm preparing for something bad to happen, that I'm going to manifest that. I asked that
Yeah.
question for a really long time in my 20s.
Yeah.
And now I'm the person where I'm like, I don't know, I have car insurance every day and I'm glad I had it. I sure as fuck was glad I had freaking homeowners insurance when my house burned. Like, I'm just like, what are the insurances that I need so that I can put this at ease? I like that we're having that conversation for some women right now, because that's probably preventing them from like going all in on their message. And at the same time, like, we're so resourced. Like, you can run an ad to someone over in like South Africa that can be buying your shit, and they're going to be like, what does cancel culture even mean? You know, like,
You're
they
so
don't
right.
know.
It's such a little microcosm. That's what I started to think. I'm like, okay, there was 200 women who are upset with me. All right,
Right.
guess what? There's another 200 in line who are like, who who would vibe with me and understand my intentions and know my heart. So I don't need to stress about
Right.
these 200 people who are misunderstanding me. And I think that's what I learned, is that I do not like to be misunderstood, which I think a lot of people don't. Because of course, who doesn't want to speak up for yourself? If you're like, you're a horrible person, you're like, no, I'm not. Like, that sucks to not be able to feel like you could say something back. So, and I think you gotta, as a personal brand online, this is my thoughts on this. This is, everyone's very different. I think you have to decide, what are you wanting to share? What are you not? I have made a very, very clear business, because this, I am, Angie Lee brand is a business. I have made a decision that business, you will notice on my page, I will never, ever bring up politics. That's me. Yeah. Now, for some women, they're passionate about it. Go girl, go speak about the causes you're obsessed with. I love that. It's not my passion. It's not what I want to talk about. I'm not going to go there. My page is for levity. It's for inspiration. You will never find the news on there. There's enough news. You can go to fucking CNN, Fox, whatever. And making that even business decision has been like, I'm deciding to not go there. And I think it's very smart, but I think some people, if you want to go there, awesome. You'll find your people who vibe with that too. So you got to make these decisions also as a personal brand. Like, what do I want to talk about? What do I not? And so, and I'll have to cross that bridge again with motherhood, right? It's like, what do I want to share? How much of my kids do I want to share? Their faces and whatnot. So that's what really helped me, is I got clear on like, okay, I was sharing so much of my life, every single second, every single minute, every single thought. And I kind of was like, wait, what are the thoughts that I get to keep just for in real life, for my real community, my real family and friends? Yeah. They know how I feel about certain things. They knew who I voted for, but the internet doesn't need to know, because here's how I feel about it. It's Susie Q who like showing me her makeup tutorial. I don't give a you think I want to hear what she thinks about? Like, I don't really care. Like, I don't see her as a political activist. I don't need to see it. I don't need to know. And I don't need to put the pressure on her to be an expert in that at all. She's an influencer doing makeup. Let her do makeup. She's 22 years old. She lives in LA. I don't need to know. And so I think there's also been this like, oh, you gotta, you have an audience. You should tell us. I'm like, nope, that doesn't mean that I need to tell you how I feel about this thing. And so that's how I feel.
Thank you for saying that, because I did say, I can't remember what was occurring in the world, but like some significant thing occurred in the world. And I very clearly said, we need to stop expecting every single person with a voice to be a news reporter, because the misinformation that's being shared is actually detrimental to people. And I think the way that we pressure people to do things out of fear, I'm such a big like proponent of make decisions from love, not fear. And I think a lot of these big movements that have occurred have been really significant and impactful for the people who use their voice with authenticity and came from love, because that's their purpose, because God assigned them and they said, like, they responded, right? It's like that holy yes. And when we push that on other people and we say like, you're bad or wrong, or you don't care, like, all we're doing is we're telling them, please spread misinformation, because they're just going to go find something to share so that they can look like they're being a part of it when they're just not resourced enough, because that's not their purpose. Like, I love that you're here for levity, because if every single person was like all seriousness, who would fucking guide us out of that? Where's our North Star to like bring us home to like this isn't what life all is. So like, thank you for that.
No, I love the way you said that. It's so beautiful. Like, I just know it's so clear. I've always known it. Like, my goal here is to bring levity and be a respite. And so I'm like, all right, my page, I want it to feel almost like a magazine or a TV show that you go watch and you're like, oh my God, I forgot that like laughing is medicine. Oh my God, I forgot there's so much medicine in just being fucking weird and silly. Thank God. I did not come on here to also see the news and you got to do this and you got to do this. And it's like, I don't know. I think there's something really beautiful about that. So that's kind of my decision moving forward. And if someone doesn't like that, that's totally cool. Girl, there's so many accounts you can follow where she will tell you how she feels about all those things all day long. I don't have enough. I don't actually have the energy or the bandwidth for it. I just don't, to get all the different ideas and feedback and, and I actually have some very strong opinions about what's going on in the world, but I kind of like that my audience doesn't really know. I kind of also like it. It's like, you don't really know how I feel about this thing. They can maybe guess, but I kind of like that. It's like, leave some mystery. All right. You don't need to know. Like, you already see my coffee enemas. You don't need to see my butthole and know how I feel about everything going on in the world, And so, yeah, I sat down one day and I was like, maybe I just leave some parts of my life private. Yeah. And that's okay. And it doesn't mean I'm a bad person. Doesn't mean I'm not like saving the world. It's like, maybe I can do it in other ways, and things I do care about can donate when I want to and not have to post about it, So
Right.
I don't know. We didn't mean to go down that rant, but hopefully this gave somebody permission right now who feels like they have to, in a performative way, post everything all the time that's going on. And it's like, nope, you can feel it deeply and not have to put it on your stories.
I had a beautiful like reckoning in my life, because I did feel like I had to like post everything and show, like I felt like I had to prove my goodness, and prove my like spirituality and like my obedience by sharing like where I would donate and who I would give money to and this and that. And so I found myself on the other side of a lot of DMs of like, I can't keep the lights on. And, and so many sob stories of like, I've left an abusive relationship. And it was the most correct thing ever for me to experience, because for my entire life, I kept trying to save someone, and it bled itself into like almost everywhere that any of me could touch. And all of it was just a reflection back to me of like, you've been trying to save your mom since you were a little girl, and it's not your job to save her. And like, it was a beautiful healing for me, and I'm grateful for that. And now nobody knows where I donate my money or how often I donate my money. And I don't make it a part of my brand. Like, I looked at people like Marie Sporilo, and it's like, this amount of every dollar goes to this. I am a huge contribution girl, Like, I be giving people free rapid resolution therapy sessions in the street, and like where like I'm here for wherever God guides me, but it better come with discernment. And that is my message for the world. And that's the pedestal that I want to like die on, or the hill that I want to die on, is like discernment. What's for you? Because it isn't your role to be like CNN. Like, it is your role to allow us to like ebb and flow through like the seriousness of life. And like, somebody needs to drop the truth about what's going on in the world. And then hopefully you're using discernment as like, is this for me to be able to take action, and where am I supposed to contribute? And then there's you who's like, don't forget to laugh. Like, we can't be all of this all the time, or like it will crush our spirits. Like, you're such a permission to let your spirit soar as well. And like, by you like holding that ground, and I hope so many people are hearing this as like such a permission slip. Like, God doesn't want us all to do all the same thing. That's why we're all made so differently. Like, discernment, fucking discernment.
Yeah, and discernment too with what you consume. Like, it's, what's really fucking cool is when you get to a place as a woman online where there's a girl who's a big podcaster, and I really like her stuff. I love it. I love so much about her. Like, she's a one show I binge, I listen to. It's not even in the business category. I love it. We probably could not be farther apart on what we think about some things in the world. Yeah. Maybe we voted for. I don't really care. I still listen to her. I still love her. I'd still hang out with her. So it's like, that's really cool to get to that place where it's like, I'm not like, oh my God, I can't. It's like, no, it's cool. Like, that's fine. She's really passionate. She's excited about it. And like, that's okay that we disagree on some things. And I like that. I'm like, because I feel like me in my early 20s, I felt like I couldn't get any goodness out of someone who maybe thought differently. And I'm like, how boring and sad is that too? So my hope is that maybe there is a girl who follows me that maybe we feel different on some things. And it's like, okay, but she's like, but damn, her stuff makes me laugh. And like, or it inspired me to start the business or do the thing. It's like, then, okay, cool. You can filter. You can literally say, oh, I like 90% of this is good. I'm going to take that from this person. Awesome. Maybe that I don't agree with, how she parents or how she blah, blah, blahs. Okay, whatever. Take it out. Just filter it. Like, nobody's going to be the whole holy Jesus person for you to,
the holy buffet that you have to eat all of. Like,
right? Yeah. I mean,
nobody
sure
asked you.
The holy buffet. I'm sure there's people who maybe don't like that. Like, I swear, like, I know you swear too. I like it. I think it's who I am. And so it's fine. I'm sure maybe some people don't. And it's like, okay, but hopefully maybe there's something else you can get from, maybe you like soul, maybe you like my products, but you don't like that I swear. Like, you can kind of filter. Yeah. I don't know.
Can we talk about your products? Because we are fangirls in this household. So I had tried your product, the Soul CBD for dogs. So like, we were using the products, but like, it's not like I could ask my dogs for a review, right? And the reality, it was for Mia, my poor sweet dog, who's like afraid of like it rains gently, and she's like, She like jumps up on my lap and she's shaking. Like she has a lot of past life trauma. I think it's like the only explanation. It's the only explanation. But
she needs a spiritual cleansing.
She does. Like, poor thing.
She needs an ayahuasca ceremony.
Hey,
she does.
Research that. But for, humans, I had the pleasure and gift. You actually sponsored Legend Live and sent a ton of amazing different products for us all to try. PS, everyone was like, I've tried a little bit of everything. I'm not normally a THC girl. And I thought it was a no for THC, a hard no.
Yeah. I already know where this is going. I hear this a lot. Yeah.
Until I tried your products. Yeah. Like, now I can actually take a gummy and I'm like, oh, I can enjoy this. And it doesn't like knock me out. Although if I drink a whole can of what's the name of the Out of Office? Thank you. If I drink a whole can of Out of Office, I am out of earth. Bye. I'm gone.
Wow. Yeah.
That's snuck up on me. But so test it in increments on that one. But like the gummies, I'm like, oh, I can actually do this. And I do, Keith actually too, my boyfriend, he had some really traumatic experiences with THC where he had some like severe panic attacks when he was younger. So he was a no for it until Friday night. He took one gummy of the Out of Office and we just like, he is building a business right now at that like early startup. And so he's all up in it. I swear it was like a bridge for earth for him. Like it was so good. We both just like laid there for the evening and just like, listened to like we each took songs or each took turns picking a song and just like enjoyed our night and just like life got to just melt and relax. And it was so good. And my daughter doesn't do any THC, but your sleep gummies with just the CBD, like she's like the ultimate fangirl. She's like, she calls them bae. So
wait, I need to like after this, I need to get like oh my God, I will send you so much more stuff. I want a testimonial. Like, I don't know, maybe if your daughter's open to like a quick video or even I can have you voice note me this so I can like share the voice note. This means so much to me to like have it.
We have like a whole recording on this already. It's like we're chopping it up for like promos for you guys because you guys were so generous with how much you donated for Legend Live. Yeah.
How old's your daughter? She's how old?
20.
Again? Oh my gosh. That's right. Because you had her super young. I'm like, you're not even 20-year-old. I'm like, but you're 20. This doesn't make sense. The math isn't mathing. But oh my gosh, I love that she loves it. No, that means the world to me because this is what I hear all day long is. And I got to keep telling my marketing team this because we got to use this in ads or something. Hey, so I wanted to tell you, I'm not usually a THC girl. I'm like, I know, neither was I. I didn't want to even start. I'll be honest. I didn't even want to start Out of Office. My brother came to me and said, hey, we've been surveying our audience, our email list. They want a little something else. It's the soccer moms. They want a little something. They are like, hey, I want a little bit more to take the edge off. And Mike was like, hey, it's going to be 1.5. It's a super small amount. I assume that's the one you're doing, the yellow single strength, right? And he was like, it's just going to be very gentle, be open-minded to it. And then it blew up and sold out. So I was like, yeah, just one of those is so nice. It's so gentle. So I tell women, I'm like, listen, you will not go to the moon. I'm not a girl I've never even been super high ever in my life, but we do now have multiple strengths. I'll be honest. I've actually never done I've maybe done our double. I've never done our triple or quad or no. So if you want to go to the moon, we have those options now. We do have some people who you would not assume want to do it. They want to go to the moon. That's great. But for a majority of girls that I talk to and men, they're like, hey, I just want a little something to take the edge off and I don't want to drink and I'm really trying to get off of alcohol. And so I love that our Out of Office drinks are an alcohol alternative movement because I'm really passionate for people to find a replacement for heavy alcohol drinking. And so, and it's fun and it tastes good. You can drink half the can or you can dilute it with some Spindrift. Like what's so great about our stuff is you can eat half a gummy. You don't have to take the whole thing. And it is very gentle. It's literally 1.5, which is like super tiny. That's like, I mean, to give you perspective, most THC CBD products at the gas station, they're going to be a 10 to 20 milligram gummy. That's going to really, maybe you're going to see aliens. So, but I've never even done that. I've never done more than honestly 2 of our 1.5. So, I mean, I'm one of the founders, and I've literally never done more than 3 myself. So I like to tell women that because I'm like, it's not like I'm over here like getting stoned. Like it's not what it is. So, but people love it.
I've only done 2 gummies at the most at the same time.
And what happens when you do 2 of them? You feel like
I feel pretty good, but it's not like I don't have control. Like like I said, when I did the whole can of Out of Office, like honestly, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, but like I love the idea of mixing it with Spindrift and like a little sharesies with everyone. But you know how you get like the little spin circle wheelie thing on the computer when the computer's frozen? That was me for the rest of the night.
But was it good though, or no? Like, is that a good feeling, or was
on it? I wouldn't do it again for myself because like
Yeah.
I like to be a part of the event and remember it. And like, I don't know that I wouldn't remember it, but we're just watching TV and like chilling and like playing. But like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't choose that for myself again because I am insanely sensitive.
Yeah,
The
I was gonna say
most,
only one can of those. Even me, I'm really sensitive. That's not usually happens. So you know what?
Yeah.
Here's the thing too. It can change based on if you do that again, a different day, a different part of your cycle. Maybe
right.
if you sleep really well, you're in your ovulation phase, you ate a really, well-balanced meal with steak and potatoes and you have one of those drinks, you're going to have a different experience than you have been stressed all day, you haven't eaten, you're about to get your period, your blood sugar is maybe a little wonky,
Right.
and you go to a party. So when people ask me, how am I going to feel? I'm like, it also is
You
where
gotta
your
test
body's
it.
at in that moment, that day, what
Yeah.
setting you're in. I mean, if I'm at home and just chilling with Clay, I'm fine. But if I go to like a huge event, I don't really want to be, I don't want to be high at a huge event. So it just depends. Everybody's so different. And the
Yeah.
day could be a little bit different. So that's where it's like, maybe that day for you was, I don't know. So
It was, I
but I love
definitely
it.
think I was like getting really close to my cycle or on my cycle. So my hormones were super dipped. But that's what I'll do from now on is like, I'll just pour a little bit because it
Yeah.
does taste, it does also
It's so
taste
good.
really good.
Yeah, just dilute it
So,
with spin
yeah.
drips and stuff. Put some ice cubes in there
Yeah.
and sip on it and like make sure you have a good meal before it. Stay hydrated and try
Yeah.
it again. And that way, it's like everybody's body is so different based on the day, your metabolism, your cycle. It's
Yeah.
plants. That's what's so fascinating about plant medicine is it plays with you a little bit. Like it's always going to be somewhat consistent. I don't want to scare
Sure.
people from trying it, but kind of also gives you sometimes what you need, they say. So it's like
Yes.
sometimes you need to go out of office. Sometimes you need to like let go of control. So it's funny in that it's not like a traditional, over the counter aspirin where it's like, oh, this is what's going to happen. It's like sometimes it vibes with you a little bit differently. But what's great about just our CBD line is you absolutely will never get high. You'll pass all the drug tests. And yeah, our sleepy gummies are awesome. I mean, people love the sleepy gummies. So
I took them with me to Vegas because I wanted to be able to stay on our time zone because I was only going to be gone for 3 days. So I took 2 of the sleepy gummies right before I went to bed, and I went to bed nice and early for Vegas time. I stayed on East Coast instead of updating to West Coast, and then I woke up in the morning and I felt great. And Keith's daughter Dana was with me, and she had this like awful cough and she was just really struggling sleeping. So it was nice to have something that I could give her too. And she doesn't do THC. So it was nice to, But
wait, I want to ask you a question. I know it's your show, but because I'm curious because, as women, and this is so cool to have different experiences. You had children really, really young, and I'm now having, they're going to call it now geriatric, whenever my children.
I think that is atrocious. The fuck.
Which don't even, I kind of want to go jump off of this thing right here when I hear that. I'm like, I feel like my life is just getting started. Please, I can't even. But
know.
So that's fascinating because, your daughter is grown up. She is 20 years old. You do not have a baby in the house. So we're, different seasons of life. But I'm curious the way, one, how do you see the soft girl versus boss girl versus what's kind of your answer to that a little bit? And then if someone like me, wants to be a mom soon, how do you see that if you were to have kids now or if you would have had them at 35-ish and how would you have seen that being integrated? Would you kind of still do it the same? I mean, your experience was just so different, but I feel like you're so intelligent to me and that you could see it through a different lens as well of like, oh, this is kind of how it would have probably played out. I just love hearing different perspectives on it from women and then moms, especially.
My devotion isn't to achievement. It isn't to achievement or any one thing. It's not to achievement. It's not to motherhood. It's not to any of this. Now, this is like, I can say this now.
Yeah.
Having gone through all of the different seasons of like hustle culture and and being a stay-at-home mom, which wasn't the right decision for me.
So
it was for a little while.
When she was really little, were you a stay-at-home mom?
I was until she was 1. When she was 1,
Okay.
I put her in daycare, and my son was a little over 2. They're 20 minutes apart.
Oh, you have two, you have a son too.
I have a son. Yeah,
he doesn't. Okay, and how
he
old
doesn't.
is he?
Yeah, he doesn't like social as much, but he's 22.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I did the
So you were
stay-at-home
in
mom thing for a little while, and I felt like a piece of me was missing too. So like the More Alive movement is about, like I said, bringing all of us into every room. And so it's not necessarily one or another. My devotion isn't to any of those labels, it isn't devotion, or it is not in devotion to an outcome other than aliveness. And so that makes my life and decision-making process really simple. And all I do is I ask myself, I imagine having done it. If I feel more alive, it's a yes. If I feel less alive, it's a no. And I just make that And I go through each season and I check in with that a lot, like almost on a daily basis. Do I still want this? Do I still want this like this? Where's the aliveness? Because I truly believe that like God is breadcrumbing our path for us and like doesn't want to give all of it to us at once because that would be totally overwhelming to the human system. And so if I just think I'm like, okay, the ultimate life that created life is going to put life in it. If all I do is follow the breadcrumbs of life force, then like I'm going to get to where I'm supposed to go for me. And I'll get there and I'll be glad to have not only gotten there, but I'll be glad to have gone. Like I want the journey and the destination to feel reverent and to feel joyful and to feel human and to feel alive. So like that is where like how I look at everything now, no matter what it is. Like, so I'm writing a book called Soften, but it is around achievement as well. So it is like it's for the woman who wants to achieve, but she's starving for a softer way to win. She doesn't want to compromise or choose one or the other. She's never going to be the girl that's like, oh, let me just go. Like, she's not the lady who lunches, you know, she's not yoga once or every single day.
I love that.
I love what you said because there is this, there's a normalcy to the pendulum swinging so hard. And I think we're seeing that right now
all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. You look at all of history and you can see the pendulum too hard on this side. And then it always swings too hard to the other side. So I've already done both the swings.
Yeah. Same. Now I'm like, okay, wait, this is like, I feel like clean and like in the middle now, but no, that's honestly super, super helpful. Like I feel like you're a few years older than me. So it's like, you've gone through all of that with motherhood and stuff. So it's really cool to hear that perspective because I think I'm almost like now all of a sudden scared to have kids because I'm like, it's going to ruin my life. But if I ask the question aliveness, I'm like, okay, what does aliveness look like? It looks like I want to know what that joy is like to like literally fucking create a human and like look at them and be like, oh my God, this is like, I've never felt a love like this. But also aliveness is like, I'm going to be like, oh my God, you're so fucking annoying. You're in the backseat. I might kill, you know what I mean? I'm sure it's both it's not always just like of these beautiful moments. I'm sure it's also really fucking hard. So it's like, but is hard still aliveness? Yeah, I think so. Right. Like I want to experience the entire spectrum of being alive. That also comes with moments where I'm like, this is really fucking hard.
That's why the nuance of that is I imagine having done it because sometimes doing it doesn't feel as alive as we would anticipate. Like you on the other side of therapy, you're glad that you've done it. I bet it was pretty raunchy in some of the in-betweens, right? Like, and part of motherhood is meeting yourself in the process. The one thing our kids do the best is they bring us home to who we are and they show us where the cracks still are in the foundation if we're willing to look. And that's the thing that, that I look at my kids and I'm like, I'm so grateful because I got to learn who I am as like a true human being that has, you look at your parents as you're a kid and you're like, you must know everything. You've got it all figured out. And then you're an adult and you're like, nobody knows shit. Fuck.
Yeah. I'm like, shit, what are we all doing here? What are we doing? I know.
Shit.
I'm like a teen mom. Come on. I still feel like I'm like 18. Who am I to like raise a human? And then I'm like, these girls who did it younger, I'm like, oh, they had to grow up with them. So I'm glad I think this experience was needed for me in my life path, but it's like, I still don't feel ready and old enough. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how I will do it. But no, I think it's a texture I want to experience.
Yeah.
So.
No, I definitely see you being a mom.
Oh, no, I know I will be. Now I'm all of a sudden scared, though. I'm like, oh, fuck. I feel like, oh, God, I don't know. I really am committed to figuring out the both. And I'm so grateful we live in a generation and a time now where there are more women having this conversation of like the both. And I think because of the internet, we're able to do it now where my mom maybe wasn't able to. She didn't have the ability to like make money online and have a flexible work from home schedule. So I know it's so possible. And I have friends who do it. I don't know why I think I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, how will I do both? Like, how will I don't know. But I'm determined to figure it out.
The same way you grew your business, it takes a fucking village. You delegate
I'm gonna hire
and you ask for help. Yes, all the fucking help. Like Jesus Christ. The one thing I promise my kids their whole lives, and I give this advice to every like newbie parent or someone who's anticipating being a parent, which is I promise you'll fuck them up and just pay for the therapy. That's it. I told my kids their whole life, I'm like, I'm going to fuck you up, but I'll pay for the therapy. Like I make no more promises other than that. And then as I grew and I expanded as a human being, I'm like, I also promise to bring all of me into every room, which is like, you're going to see that I'm a messy human too. You're going to see that I don't know what I'm doing. You're going to see that I'm going to need you to trust you more than you trust me, because you are a sovereign soul. And that's hard when your son is 21, I guess. So this was like December 2021. And he's like, I'm not coming over Christmas Day. We're going to stay at home and like curl up in bed. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. You're like, no. Yeah.
He's like, this is what I feel guided to do. And I'm like, who the fuck taught you to do what you're guided to do?
Yeah. But I'm
unless your mother says.
Yeah. That's heartbreaking too. He's like your little boy. But I think it's like, do you see yourself as a mom who happens to also work? Is your purpose on this planet is it to be a mother? Like, obviously, I assume you love your children more than anything. Or do you see it as like, no, I'm Andrea, and these are all just different parts of my life who make me like,
I'm the center of all of it. Yeah, no, like there isn't, no, there's no separation of like identities of like, this is me as an entrepreneur, this is me as a mother, like this. And I think that might feel different for different people, but because my brand is so personal, all of it's personal. And my kids have been a part of all of it. Like when we were, launching Freak and we had physical products, like my son would, like everybody was helping package things. And like my daughter would fly when she was 14 and she like taught herself makeup on YouTube. So she would like go to photo shoots all over in New York and down in Miami, and she would do models' makeups for different shoots. So like they've been a part of every single piece of it. And like, it's so cool. Like what a life experience. Yeah. Exactly.
I just think what I'm afraid of is looking at my kid and then thinking, my God, anything else outside of this is so meaningless. I can't believe I thought that like other stuff was this, like, this is the fucking coolest thing. But I'm like,
you get to choose that.
But isn't that like also like such an extreme way to see it? And it's like the bubble of that eventually wears off and you're like, okay, I need to have a life as well. I don't know.
Somebody said this to me 2 years ago, and I'm going to give you this wisdom. She goes, Andrea, you don't have to be such an extremist. It can be this for a little while and then it can change. And I don't have to make a decision that's going to last me for forever. Or Keith and I wouldn't be together, because that was what she was telling. I was like, he's not the one. Like, I was like, I feel bad. I don't want to hurt his feelings, not because he wasn't great, but because I wasn't ready. And so I'm like, I don't want to, like, it was like the self-protection thing of like, I don't want to break his heart. And like, we literally just met like days. And she's like, and I was like, run his code, because she's a numerologist. I was like, run his chart, tell me everything. And she's like, I'm going to run your chart, actually, Andrea. And your chart says you don't have to look at things through like a forever or nothing point of view. And I was like, oh, great. So like, it could be okay if we're just going to be together for 3 weeks and then not be. And she's like, yeah, why not? And get what you can out of the 3 weeks. And now I'm like, oh, we're getting married.
I love this. Well, did you watch the show Sex Life? So good.
Yes.
Okay. So when I think about being a woman and like being alive, here's what I tell women. There's the last scene, right? And she's like running to her son's like play or something. And then she's like, had this like hot sex or whatever, affair with the hot dude. I kind of forgot some of the details, but like she like, does she choose the hot dude or her husband? And then she's like got this cool career that she loves. Then she's like also going to her kids' thing. And she's just like, I just want it all. Like, I want to fucking feel it all. And I just remember watching that being like, oh my God, that's how I feel. I'm like, I just want to experience the entire spectrum of life. I want to be a soccer mom one day, and then I want to speak on stage the next. And then I want to be a hot MILF. And then I also want to be like, I want to do it all. And so I think that that's what's so confusing to me is I'm like, I want all of it. How do I get all?
You know what? And you can all of a sudden be like, I want 2 months off. And then 2 weeks into it, you're like, I'm done. Like, actually, I only wanted 2 weeks off. And like, you can change your fucking mind every single day.
True.
But like, if there were only one thing that I said, stay in devotion to, it's like, keep checking for the aliveness. And like the second that the life force is out of it, it wasn't for you to keep going down that path anyway.
Yeah, it's so good. Oh my God, we didn't even talk about us dating older guys, because we're both with older guys.
Oh, fun. Okay. We're here for a few minutes more, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, it's like such a random thing about us, but you told me, I think when I DM'd you, it was like, how many years are you guys apart?
12.
Yeah, Clay and I are 12, 13. Oh my God, almost exactly the same.
Cute.
Wow.
Look, I'm in it for the older men.
I didn't plan to. It just happened.
Well, I started to realize, I'm like, every time I went on a date with a guy my age or like not very many younger, maybe like a few years younger. I was just like, okay, maybe, but like the maturity just wasn't there for me. And like, then I started dating older guys and I'm like, okay, the maturity is getting better. But even still, like I did date how old was he? He was 60.
18.
Like that was the oldest.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
no.
18.
Always up.
You're like, never down. Oh my God, wait, you're 41?
I was 41 then at the time and I'm 42 now.
Oh, 42. Okay, yeah. Because I'm 35, Clay's like 48. So when I'm your age, I'll be the same as you two. Yeah. It's crazy. I feel like there's so much that comes with it. There's pros and cons to every relationship, obviously. I think I have been a little bit nervous about like the older dad thing, but I also am like, oh my God, the fact that I have someone who's like ready emotionally, mentally, financially, he is just like, he's a fucking man. Like that's also really cool because I don't have to worry about like, I don't know, anything. And like, I think that's such a gift to give children too, like to have that wisdom. So yeah, there's pros and cons to all of it, I guess. But I didn't plan on it, but I was dating guys my age, which at the time I was 30 when we met. And, 30-year-old boys are little boys. And so I was always really upset and expecting the world of them.
Disappointed.
And now I'm like, I can't believe I expected the world out of some 30-year-old fetus. So yeah. And like, come on, get it together. And like, I would talk to even like 27-year-olds and be like, why aren't you, just taking care of me and doing this and doing that and doing that? And now I'm like, oh my God, because I was asking these little boys to step it up.
I know.
I think for a lot of women, if you matured quickly and you are like an old soul, I tell a lot of my single friends, I'm like, girl, be willing to go older because you won't have to deal with any games, any bullshit. It's just so nice. Like you don't have to worry about all this stuff.
I think like beyond age, it's like, who can you repair with? Because like life is full of repairs. And like, if you can't have a clean repair with someone, you can't have a long-term relationship. And you need to know that if you're going to have kids with someone, because we have to repair with our children too. And like, if they don't have the ability to like see things from both sides and to like make someone else feel seen, heard, and understood and like and receive apologies, or even be like, if they're avoidant or aggressive or like all of that, like Keith and I have definitely had like our tough times and our amazing times, but at the same time, like we are both very deeply devoted to repair. And like, that's someone that I'm like, he's going to be the grandfather of my grandkids someday. And as much as he's older, I would say like, he's 100% younger than I am. Like I'm like, you always say a baby grandma. I'm like, I'm in bed before he is. And like, he's the youngest of all of us. But then every once in a while I hear him say words and I'm like, oh yeah, we have an age gap. But then you said it, like I make fun of him all the time for using the word respite. And then you used it. And I was like, I have a humble apology to give.
I'm such a grandma. Well, someone told me the other day, they were like, or a few months ago, they used that word. They're like, oh, you're like a respite. And I looked it up. I'm like, oh, it's like a pause or a break. I'm like, yeah, that's what a comedian is.
Okay, so you had to look it up. Okay, yeah, great. That made me feel better.
I was like, respite. I was like, oh, I like this word. It means like a pause or a breath of fresh air from the heaviness. So I was like, oh, that's so perfect. So now I use it to explain things, but it is probably grandma. But yeah, I always joke. I'm like, Clay's the one who like playing pickleball for 8 hours, can stay up late, does all this stuff. He's an extrovert, and I'm like in bed on PM on a Friday playing The Sims. I'm like, he's like, you are a grandma. So it's crazy.
Yes, I'm the same. Keith could play pickleball all day long if I let him. And like, he is the ultimate golden retriever of all golden retrievers. So if I need to go out somewhere and I need to like step out of my shell, he comes, he leads, he opens the conversations, he invites me into the conversations, and I just like, get to sit there and be just a girl, and he handles all of it. And I'm like,
I love that. They're like so the same. Oh, I wish you lived closer. I feel like they would be buddies, pickleball buddies. And I love this for you. I know you went through so much, obviously, with your past relationship and everything. So that's just so beautiful and cool. And it's just such a story of like, you can find joy and love again. And I think a lot of women are nervous of that. Like, oh, I'm in my late 30s now, or I have kids already. Am I ever going to find someone am I ever going to find someone again? And I just keep seeing so many amazing stories of women who 2-3 kids in their 40s meeting these amazing men. So it just shows it's not like I'm so sick of all the bullshit rules of like, you have to meet them at this time and in this way, and you can't have kids. It's like, no, come on. Who the fuck cares?
We're all making this up. Like, there are no rules. We're all going to die. So do what you want.
Yeah.
No, I'm such a big believer in like, there's a whole thing called Second Husband Club for a reason, because
really?
like, You figured out who you are, what you're not tolerating anymore.
Yeah.
And like, it is significantly better, not because one person is better than the other, but because you know yourself more. And like, like communication skills, increase over time. So like, they're getting a better version of you. You're getting a better version of them because we've all like, grown. So yeah, I don't know. Like, but the one thing that I would say that I had that people like the beautiful thing about me having kids so early is that I didn't worry would I have kids or not. And like, I honor like that journey for women of like, will I find him in time for children? That's the harder thing to regulate in your nervous system that I never had to walk down that path.
Yeah.
So like much love to all the women.
You could still have some kids, maybe some
girl.
You could.
And this conversation is complete. Goodbye.
I'm like, 3 of my girlfriends are having their first at 44. I'm like, let's go. Let's go.
We're here
You're
for
like,
that.
I did the diapers. You're like, no more diapers.
His son is 17. His daughter's 19.
Oh.
Like, no, our kids are grown. We're going to be grandparents together.
Yeah. You're like, no. Diapers. I'm good. I'm going to go play pickleball and chill and drink some out of office.
Yeah. No, I already got a tummy tuck. I'm not ruining that.
You're like, I don't want to redo. I don't want to get another tummy tuck. Okay. That's so funny, man. I mean, look at me. But see, there's no way to do womanhood because I'm like, I'm going to be in my 40s with fucking toddlers. I'm going to be tired. No.
With help.
No, I won't.
Who can afford help? I couldn't afford help. So like, there's a pro and con to every story.
And I will have some badass nannies so I can go take a little nap or go to yoga. Yes, so you know what? It's like, there's no way to. That's the biggest thing I've learned. There's no way to do womanhood. You just got to figure it out.
There's no way to do womanhood. That's its own podcast. Will you start that? There's no way to do womanhood.
What I want to like be known for now or talk about. It's like these hilarities and realities of womanhood. And I found that this season for me, my mid 30s is really hard because it's like I call it the splinter era where it's like everyone's either, are they getting married or getting a divorce or having kids or it's very like, I got to really just keep coming back to myself and my truth. Like, okay, what do I actually want? What's good for me? Not allowing it to feel, because it can feel very comparative and stressful. Like all of my girlfriends my age are all freaking the fuck out. Like, am I behind? Oh my God. Or wait, am I late? Am I early? When should I do this? And it's like, it's a very weird phase. And I almost can't wait for my 40s because I feel like it's all going to kind of calm down a little bit and it'll all mellow out a little bit. But
my wish for all women is what my dad says all the time. My it was Special Forces Green Beret in the Army. And so like, he's all around like survival. Right. And so he always says, make peace with the conditions you're in and then you can improve upon it. He's like, if you jump into, he literally would jump out of airplanes and like land in enemy territory. And if he was there, he's like, I don't want to sit here and be like, I shouldn't be. He's like, I am. Like my feet are on this ground right now. So let me figure out how to not be. So like make peace with the fact that you are. And I love that. I'm like, when you're a little kid, you're like, I don't listen.
Yeah. Now I'm like, oh my God, I want to talk to your dad. That's so good. Yeah.
I know. He does do free mentoring with my girlfriends. I swear to God.
I need that in my life. Clay would be like, sign up for that because he always says, control the controllables. That's like one of the sayings, I guess they say in the Army and the Air Force, like control the controllables. It's like you're in a scary, crazy moment. Like, all right, what can I control? That's all I can do.
Exactly.
And I need that advice.
So I say then, like, whatever, if it hasn't happened, it shouldn't have. And if it has happened, it should have. Whatever it is, just make peace with it.
Dang.
Like, if it did, it should have. If it didn't, it shouldn't have yet. And now that we've made, it's like that it shouldn't have when it did, or like it should have if it hasn't, like that fucks your whole human experience is just like one big fat, like song of misery.
You're right. So, yeah. That's
damn,
really,
Dad.
Wow. That's really cool. I mean, that's kind of like stoicism in a way, right? It's like making the best of what's in front of you and like handling it and finding peace in the storm. And that's, that's really beautiful. That's so cool that he did that.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a cool dad.
I don't even know what this podcast was about, but I loved every second
we were recording. I actually already have a vulnerability hangover. I'm like, oh no, I'm like, she's going to publish this. I kind of said a lot of shit. Oh, well, hopefully it was all okay.
We're here for it. Remember, we don't give a fuck.
I'm like, you can take out anything if it was too much. I kind of just talked to you like I would a friend on Zoom. So I didn't really think of like, ooh, will this be valuable tips? I kind of just said what I wanted to say.
That's always what's the most valuable.
Okay. Cause I was like, I'll redo it if you need me to be more educational or give some tips.
Nope. I think we
no.
gave our all here and I'm so proud of us.
Well, we talked about age gap, cancel culture. We talked about a lot of shit.
We talked about you guys.
man.
Like, I'm sure that you got at least one gold nugget, if not
Yeah.
4. Please DM Angie Lee and say thank you for being willing to experience your vulnerability hangover on the More Alive podcast, because women do need to know that there is no one way to do, would we say? What was our title? Womanhood. Yeah. There's no one way to do womanhood. Yeah. And so, like, Jesus Christ, like, if we said one important thing today, let it be that. So thank you, Angie. We appreciate you guys. Please leave a comment, a review, send Angie a thank you. And for the love of God, share this with 3 women you know. Right now, just click share, click share, click share. Thank you. We love you. We appreciate you. And thank you so much, Angie.
And that's a wrap on today's episode of More Alive. But you already know the conversation doesn't end here. In fact, if you check the show notes, you will see that there's a link where you can essentially leave us a voicemail. You can comment on today's episode, tell us what was your mic drop moment, and you can also ask questions. Your audio might be featured on a future More Alive episode. So also, if something in today's episode really hit home with you, share it. Think about somebody who might need to hear that. And you guys already know, I love chatting with you guys in the DMs. So come over to Instagram, slide into my DMs, and tell me what hit hardest today. I want to hear from you. And if you want to keep this energy going, you already know, let's make this official. Subscribe, leave a review, and let's turn this shit into a movement, because you know, the more alive you feel, the more alive the world becomes.